कल हमने कहा था पढ़ा था 7th वर्ष तक, राइट? हरे कृष्ण।
Yeah, Prabhu, this verse I think was there.
हाँ, 7th तक ही पढ़ा। ओके, आई जस्ट क्विकली गो थ्रू इट। क्या था? uh, so one day, Mother Yashoda saw that all the maidservants were engaged in other household affairs. She personally began to churn the yogic. ओके, मदर यशोदा जो है वो खुद से जो वो बटर बना रही थी, वो चर्न कर रही थी। एंड while churning, वो हमने डिस्कस किया था, she was remembering the activities of Krishna and she was composing her own song and she was enjoying singing herself about all those activities which are done by Krishna. एंड उनके बारे में फिर सेकंड वर्स में उनका उनका डिस्क्रिप्शन आ रहा है यशोदा मैया का। उन्होंने येलो साड़ी पहना हुआ है एंड हाउ सारा कुछ डिस्क्रिप्शन उनका दिया हुआ है। एंड while she was churning butter, Krishna desired to drink milk. तो उन्होंने उनको वो मिल्क पिला रही थी उनको। एंड देन मदर यशोदा then embraced Krishna, allowed him to sit down on her lap. But then we saw that वो milk was overflowing flowing from the pan. So she went to take care of that. Krishna फिर गुस्सा हो गए थे। And then he broke the container of yogurt with a piece of stone. And then he entered a room and began to eat the freshly churned butter in a solitary place. Mother Yashoda, after taking down the hot milk from the oven, returned to the churning spot, and when she saw the container of yogurt was broken, that Krishna was not present, she concluded that the breaking of the pot was the work of Krishna. Okay, so यहाँ तक हमने किया। So we'll continue.
Oh,
कोई
just
पॉइंट
wanted to
है?
confirm one thing. You mentioned in the earlier verses, Krishna desired to drink the milk.
या
Or was it like Yashoda desired to, uh, how was it? Was it
नहीं
the other way around or was it?
नहीं नहीं, कृष्णा डिसाइड टू ड्रिंक। कृष्णा डिसाइड clearly mentioned there. Uh, while fourth verse, while Mother Yashoda was churning butter, Lord Krishna, desiring to drink the milk of her breast, appeared before her, and in order to increase her transcendental pleasure, he caught hold of the churning rod and began to prevent her from churning. Krishna desired. Okay. Very important point you want to bring from yesterday's discussion.
Yeah, Krishna is uh, desiring his own pastimes, and he is intimately his very dear, near, intimate devotees like Mother Yashoda uh, is being uh, showering her parental affection of how she loves Krishna as a parent.
Mm. एक तो फर्स्ट वर्स पे हमने देखा था किस तरह से यशोदा मई वाज सिंगिंग अबाउट कृष्णा's activities, और यहाँ पे प्रभुपाद ने purport पे लिखा था कि this should be the practice of persons eager to remain Krishna conscious 24 hours a day. तो आई वाज आल्सो थिंकिंग बाद में मुझे कि हमारे बहुत सारे वैष्णव सॉन्ग हैं which are very sweet, so we can remember those songs as I was saying that किस तरह से मंदिर में भी devotees they keep on when they I mean, they are very jolly sometimes I see, and they sing, I mean, Mahamantra or anything, or maybe some Vaishnav bhajan. So we can remember, memorize Vaishnav bhajans, and we can sing. Okay, we'll go ahead. उलूखलाङ्ग्रे उलूखलाङ्ग्रेर् उपरि व्यवस्थितं मर्काय कामान् ददतं शिचिस्थितं अय्यङ्गवं चौर्य विशङ् विशङ्कितेक्षणं विरीक्ष्य पश्चात्सूतम् आगमच्च आ- आगमच्च चनैः उलूखल अंग्रेः of the mortar in which spices were ground and which was being kept upside down. Upari, on top, Devasthitam, Krishna was sitting. Markaya, unto a monkey. Kamam, according to his satisfaction. Danatam, delivering shares. Sichisthitam, situated in butter pot hanging on the swing. Hayan Gavam, butter and other milk preparations. Chaurya, Vishankita, because of stealing, were anxiously looking hither and thither. Ikshanam, whose eyes, Nirikshaya, by seeing these activities, Paschat, from behind, Sutam, her son, Agamat, she reached Sanai very slowly, cautiously. So Krishna, at that time, was sitting on an upside down wooden mortar for grinding spices and was distributing milk preparations such as yogurt and butter to the monkeys as he liked. तो वो जो उखल होता है ना जिसमें पहले लोग स्पाइसेस ग्राइंड करने के लिए यूज करते थे तो उस पे कृष्णा उसको अपसाइड डाउन करके उस पे बैठे हैं मंकीज को डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर रहे थे butter and other milk preparations. And because of having stolen, he was looking all around with great anxiety, suspecting that he might be chastised by his mother. Mother Yashoda, upon seeing him, very cautiously approached him from behind. जो टिपिकल सीन होता है बच्चे बदमाशी भी कर रहे हैं नहीं एंड दे आर एंग्शियस कोई मुझे देख तो नहीं रही है so he's perfectly playing the role of a child and यशोदा मैया भी चुपचाप से वो उनके पीछे आ रही. So Mother Yashoda was able to trace Krishna by following his butter smeared footprints. She saw that Krishna was stealing butter and thus she smiled. Meanwhile, the crows also entered the room and came out in fear. Thus Mother Yashoda found Krishna stealing butter and very anxiously looking here and there. So yeah, crows के बारे में तो अच्छा Prabhupada is writing in this book. Krishna is fearful here and also doing mischievous activity. Okay. ताम आत्तयस्तिं प्रसम्मिक्ष्य सत्वरस् ततो मरुहिया पससार भितवत् गोपी अन्वधावन वना यम आपयोगिनां क्षमं प्रवेष्टुं तपशेलितं मनः. Come unto Mother Yashoda, Attaviyastim, carrying in her hand a stick. Prasamikshaya, Krishna seeing her in that attitude. Satvaraha, very quickly. Tata, from there, Avaruhya, getting down. Apasas, Sasara began to flee Bhitavat as if very much afraid. Gopi, Mother Yashoda, and Vadhavat began to follow him. Now not Yam unto whom Appa failed to reach. Yogi Nam of great yogis mistakes. Chamam who could reach him. Praveshtum trying to enter into Brahman effulgence of Paramatma. Tapasa with great austerities and penances. Iritam trying for that purpose. Mana by meditation. When Lord Sri Krishna saw his mother stick in hand, he very quickly got down from the top of the motor and began to flee as if very much afraid. Although yogis try to capture him as Paramatma by meditation, desiring to enter into the effulgence of the Lord, with great austerities and penances, they fail to reach him. But Mother Yashoda, thinking that same personality of Godhead Krishna to be her son, began following Krishna to catch him. तो यहाँ पे ये आ रहा है कि किस तरह से भगवान जो है एक्चुअली क्लियरली एस्टेब्लिश्ड हियर इन श्रीमद् भागवतम की हाँ ये इसलिए आ रहा है यहाँ पे क्योंकि यशोदा मैया जो थी वो जो उनका वात्सल्य भाव था प्रेम था कृष्ण के लिए वो आराम उनको पीछे दौड़ रही है उनको पकड़ने के लिए तो यहाँ पे एक पॉइंट ये आ रहा है कि yogis try to capture him by meditation and desiring to enter into the effulgence of the Lord वो मुक्ति की कामना करते हैं उनमें मर्ज रहना चाहते हैं and for that they do years of tapasya so many penances and austerities but they fail to reach. Here is a hint given how one can actually get Krishna, not only get Krishna, but how Krishna is actually acting like a puppet in your hand. He's acting like he's fearing Yashoda. So it depends on us, and accordingly, Krishna is ready to give ourselves, ready to give himself to us if one can have that kind of love. बट हाँ कल हमने ये भी डिस्कस किया था ये चीज एक पॉइंट वी डोंट वांट टू बिकम like Yashoda Maiya or Radharani or anyone else, so to say. We want to follow in their footsteps. We don't want to take their position. वो भी हमने कल discuss. Okay, so I'll read proper. Yogis, mystics want to catch Krishna as Paramatma, and with great austerities and penances, they try to approach him, yet they cannot. Here we see, however, that Krishna is going to be caught by Yashoda and is running away in fear. This illustrates the difference between the bhakta and the yogi. Yogis cannot reach Krishna, but for pure devotees like Mother Yashoda, Krishna is already caught. Krishna was even afraid of Mother Yashoda's stick. This was mentioned by Queen Kunti in her prayers. Bhaya bhavanya sthitasya. Bhaya bhavanya sthitasya. Krishna is afraid of Mother Yashoda and yogis are afraid of Krishna. Yogis try to reach Krishna by Jnana Yoga and other yogas but fail. Yet, although Mother Yashoda was a woman, Krishna was afraid of her, as clearly described in this verse. So, what does Queen Kunti say? No, there's 1:8:31. Could you please see that for me? My dear Yashoda, my dear Krishna, Yashoda took up a rope to bind you when you committed an offense, and your perturbed eyes overflooded with tears, which washed the mascara from your eyes, and you were afraid. Though fear personified is afraid of you, this sight is bewildering to me. वहां पे एक्चुअली बोलते हैं कि वहां पे यशोदा मैया सॉरी कुंती भी थी एक्चुअली वहां पे जब ये इंसिडेंट हुआ था आई थिंक ऐसा मैंने सुना है नॉट रिमेम्बरिंग बट या ऐसा बोलते हैं शायद वो वहां पे थी एंड ही इज शी इज सेइंग एक्चुअली कि किस तरह से कृष्णा जो डर रहे हैं उनके आंखों से आंसू निकल रहा है और मस्करा भी उनका निकल गया एंड ही इज अफ्रेड और फियर पर्सोनिफाइड काल डेथ वो भी डरते हैं भगवान से बट कृष्णा इज अफ्रेड ऑफ यशोदा मैया तो दिस साइट इज bewildering सो दिस इज नॉट एक्चुअली हम तो इसको इजीली ले लेते हैं लाइटली लेते हैं इस इवेंट को ये जो चल रहा है दामोदर लीला पर हाँ कृष्ण अच्छा लग रहा है सुंदर लग रहा है स्वीट लग रहा है कृष्णा दौड़ रहे हैं एंड यशोदा मैया बट उसके पीछे जो अंडरस्टैंडिंग है वो यहाँ पे आ रहा है कि हाउ इट इज कितना ग्लोरियस है ये और कितना और कुंती जो यहाँ पे आ रहा है कुंती का जो पैर यहाँ उन्होंने बताया प्रभुपाद ने कि वो कितना मतलब बेबिल्डरिंग है जो फियर पर्सोनिफाइड भी भगवान से डरते हैं वो भगवान यशोदा मैया से डर के भाग So this shows कि भगवान का जो रिलेशन है भक्तों के साथ हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण एम ऑडिबल हरे कृष्ण
Yes, yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji, you're audible.
yes. Now you're audible, Prabhu.
हरे कृष्ण ऑडिबल मेरी आवाज आ
Yes,
रही है
Prabhuji. Yes, we can hear you, Prabhuji. Yes, yes.
ओके
जी प्रभुजी.
ओके मतलब थोड़ा मिस हुआ क्या कुछ ऐसा क्योंकि मैं बोल रहा था और इधर आई थिंक इनमें ये पावर कट हो गया
No, just a few seconds, but we can hear you.
ओके so yeah so this was mentioned by Queen Kunti in her prayers Bhaya Bhavanyastasya Krishna is afraid of Mother Yashoda and yogis are afraid of Krishna. Yogis try to reach Krishna by Jnana Yoga, Nanda Yoga, but fail. Yet, although Mother Yashoda was a woman, Krishna was afraid of her as clearly described in this verse. Okay, any comment from anybody? Any question? Hare Krishna. Okay, then we'll go ahead. And one chamana janani briha chalach shromi bhara kantat gatihi sumadhyama जवेन विश्रमश्रित केशबंधन च्युत तस्सुना तस्सुनागतिः परामृश 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 avan anvanchamana following Krishna very swiftly
Your voice is
janani
breaking,
Mother
Prabhuji.
Yashoda. Bihat chalat shoni bharat. Akranta Gatihi, being overburdened by weight of her large breast, she became tired and her body gone new to his oh, spouse, spouse, Hare Krishna. Is it audible? Is it audible now?
Yes,
Yeah,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Yeah. Translation. While following Krishna, Mother Yashoda, her while following Krishna, Mother Yashoda, her thin waist overburdened by her heavy breast, naturally had to reduce her speed. Because of following Krishna very swiftly, her hair became loose, and the flowers in her hair were falling after her. Yet she did not fail to capture her son Krishna. Yogis cannot capture Krishna by severe penances and austerities, but Mother Yashoda, despite all obstacles, was finally able to catch Krishna without difficulty. This is the difference between a yogi and a bhakta. Yogis cannot enter even the effulgence of Krishna. Yasya prabha prabhavato jagadanda koti kotishu. In that effulgence, there are millions of universes. But yogis and jnanis cannot enter that effulgence even after many, many years of austerities. तो इवन जो योगीज एस्पायर कर रहे हैं ब्रह्म 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 में लीन हो जाने के लिए because they don't have any personal conception of these who are impersonal. They don't have personal conception of God. They don't want to render, so to say, we can say, service to God, and they have the desired liberation. So वो भी उनके लिए अचीव करना बहुत ही मुश्किल होता है. Saying that in that effulgence there are many millions of them, but yogis and gyanis cannot enter that effulgence even after many, many years of austerities, whereas bhaktas can capture Krishna simply by love and affection. This is the example shown here by Mother Yashoda. Krishna therefore confirms that if one wants to, somebody is there's some noise coming from the background. कोई अगर muted है तो please mute करिए. Krishna. Okay, thank you. Uh, so yeah, Krishna therefore, this is the example shown here by Mother Yashoda. Krishna therefore confirms that if one wants to capture Krishna, one must undertake devotional service. One must undertake devotional service. To mam tatvato gyatva vishate tad anantaram. So Krishna is by these pastimes, Krishna is establishing that, and actually he says also in Bhagavad Gita that bhaktya mam abhijanati, like that. Only devotees can know him. Only तो यहाँ पे इनफैक्ट यहाँ पे आ भी रहा है कि that तो पर लिख रहे हैं कि Krishna therefore confirms that if one wants to capture him, one must undertake devotional service. Bhaktas enter even the planet of Krishna very easily, but the less intelligent yogis and jnanis, by their meditation, remain running after Krishna. Even if they enter Krishna's effulgence, they fall down. So यहाँ पे लिख रहे प्रभुपाद, even if they enter Krishna's effulgence, they fall down. तो यहाँ पे जो हम बोलते हैं कि जो बेसिकली मर्ज हो जाना चाहते हैं, उनके बारे में बोल रहे हैं भगवान की ब्रह्म ज्योति में। वो अगर उनको ब्रह्म ज्योति वो एक तो मिलता है मुश्किल से, अगर वो अम, यहाँ पे आ रहा है कि फिर दे एंटर कृष्णा से फल दे फॉल डाउन बिकॉज दे डू नॉट हैव, बिकॉज जीवात्मा जो है बीइंग एक्टिव, दे वांट टू do something, and um, since they do not have taste for serving Krishna, that's why they again fall down on this material. That can also happen. Okay. Krita vashantam garudadantam akshini vashantam mashini mashini swapanina udvikshamanam bhaya vivalekshanam हस्ते गृहीत्वा भिष्यन्ति अवागुरत कृत आगसन, who was offended, who was an offender, come unto Krishna. Garura dantam, with a prying attitude. Akshini, his two eyes. Ashantam, rubbing. Anjat masini, from whose eyes the blackish ointment was distributed all over his face with tears. Swapanina, with his own hand. The Vikshamanam, who was seen in that attitude by Mother Yashoda. Bhaya Vivhala Ikshanan, whose eyes appeared distressed because of such fear of his mother. Haste by the hand, Grihitva, catching. Vishayanti, Mother Yashoda was threatening him. Avagurat, and thus she very mildly chastised him. So, when caught by Mother Yashoda, Krishna became more and more afraid and admitted to being an offender. As she looked upon him, she saw that he was crying, his tears mixing with the black ointment around his eyes, and as he rubbed his eyes with his hands, he smeared the ointment all over his face. Mother Yashoda, catching her beautiful son by the hand, mildly began to chastise him. So it's on detail में यहाँ पे description दिया हुआ है, वो जो we hear about this pastime. Most of the time we just hear and wait कि हाँ कृष्ण यशोदा मैया ने पकड़ लिया, बट यहाँ पे किस तरह से डिस्क्राइब किया हुआ है कि एक तो पहले वो कृष्ण अपने आप को एक्सेप्ट कर रहे हैं, एडमिट कर रहे हैं कि या उन्होंने गलती की है, एंड एंड ही इज क्राइंग, और वो जब रो रहे हैं तो उनकी आंखों में जो काजल लगा होगा, आई थिंक पॉइंट या ब्लैक वन में काजल, तो वो पूरा उनके चेहरे पे पूरा इधर उधर फैल गया है, एंड यशोदा मैया उनको हाथ से पकड़ के देन शी इज माइल्डली चस्टाइजिंग हिम. So, from these dealings between Mother Yashoda and Krishna, we can understand the exalted position of a pure devotee in loving service to the Lord. Yeah, this clearly shows the loving dealings. And this is what actually we are looking for. We are all, every Jivatma is looking for that love, and that the fulfillment of that love, that जो भी हमारा desire है, that can be fulfilled completely in relation to Krishna. So we can understand the exalted position of a pure devotee in loving service to the Lord. तो इतने बड़े भक्त हैं कि Krishna is reciprocating in that way with his devotees. Like we hear about gopis also. किस तरह से gopis भी कृष्णा को fully मतलब पूरे taunt करती थी, गालियां देती थी. So all that is possible with Krishna. So yogis, jnanis, karmis and Vedantists cannot even approach Krishna. तो वो अप्रोच क्या करेंगे? वो तो एक वो तो डिनाई ही कर रहे हैं, या तो फिर उसको या तो वो बोलते हैं कि जब कृष्ण आ रहे हैं तो ही इज जस्ट लाइक इल्यूजन, दे आर नॉट एक्सेप्टिंग, दे आर नॉट एक्सेप्टिंग कृष्णा एज ही इज. कर्मी जो इक्वेट करते हैं सारे कृष्णा एंड देवी देवता को, or somebody's thinking they're just like one of us. So they don't know. So how can they even approach Krishna? They must remain very, 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 very far away from him and try to enter his bodily effulgence. Although this also they are unable to do. Great demigods like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva always worship the Lord by meditation and by service. Even the most powerful Yamaraj fears Krishna. Therefore, as we find in the history of Ajamil, Yamraj instructed his followers not even to approach the devotee, what to speak of capturing them. तो वो भी हम जानते हैं कि जो devotees होते हैं उनके लिए यमदूतों के लिए इंस्ट्रक्शन है कि यू डोंट इवन वो तुम्हारे jurisdiction के बाहर है तुमको उधर जाना भी नहीं like you hear the conversation between यमदूता and विष्णुदूत किस तरह से वो उनको क्वेश्चन किया जा रहा था विष्णुदूत पूछ रहे थे कि भाई तुम कहाँ से आ गए इधर तुम धर्मराज को रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हो एंड तुमको पता भी नहीं है कि धर्म क्या है इन जो अजामिल वाला केस होता in other words Yamraj also fears Krishna and Krishna's devotee yet this Krishna became so dependent on Mother Yashoda that when she simply showed Krishna the stick in her hand Krishna admitted to being an offender and began to cry like an ordinary child. Mother Yashoda, of course, did not want to chastise her beloved child very much, and therefore she immediately threw her stick away and simply rebuked Krishna, saying, now I shall bind you so that you cannot commit any further offensive activities, nor for the time being can you play with your playmate. This shows the position of a pure devotee in contrast with others like Gyanis, yogis, and the followers of Vedic ritualistic ceremonies in regarding the transcendental nature of the absolute truth. So we see here again this point is Prabhupada is making. This shows the position of pure devotee in contrast with Gyanis, yogis. So we have actually different kind of transcendentalists who are actually who understand that yeah, this material world is not the ultimate place to be in. There is reality, something beyond this material existence. And but still we see they have different conception of absolute truth. So यहाँ पे आ रहा है कि जो other ज्ञानीज yogis हैं, their position is actually not I mean any way equal to the position of a devotee. So here we can understand ये जो चल रहा है ये पास्ट टाइम किस तरह से कृष्ण जो है अपना डर रहे हैं आंसू पोंछ रहे हैं सारा फेस उनका जो है वो ब्लैक हो रहा है काजल से ऑल दिस वी कैन सी हाउ वेरी स्वीट ओके विल मूव अहेड एनी क्वेश्चन कमेंट्स हियर एम आई ऑडिबल
Yeah, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Very, very
ओके
uh, important points are here that how to be a devotee is the most important position amongst all other transcendental positions, where one can actually, this is probably only the Golok Vrindavan planet because in Vaikunt, one cannot capture Krishna in that sense.
yeah not to this extent this kind of dealings are not there in Vaikuntha I mean yeah this is in Goloka only Vrindavan with Krishna only in this Madhurya Vatsalya Bhav. So we know Sakhya Bhav, we have five major bhavs, rasas, Madhurya Bhav, Vatsalya Bhav, and Sakhya Bhav, Dasya Bhav, and Shanta. Yes, sorry, Rasa actually we say. Da, Shantaras. Happening.
So there is difference between bhava and rasa in the sense
Yes,
of
same only. Yes, same only.
same. And also one
Kind
point
of.
very interesting in the earlier verses, how uh, a role of a woman as a woman, how Krishna is afraid of Yashoda. Yashoda is in the form of woman, in the role of a woman. So God Himself being afraid. So this position is very superior for a woman also in the liberated position. I believe that could be another point.
Sorry, Prabhu, I didn't get your point actually.
So to
Thoda
be
sa.
this in a woman's body in a liberated position also is a very exalted position because here in the woman's body in her liberated position, Yashoda is actually chastising Krishna. So
Mhm.
I have not heard about
Okay,
any other. Yeah,
okay. You mean to say कि position liberated condition भी liberated position में भी women का जो body है that is more uh, better you are saying right?
not better. I mean, would say definitely Krishna is
मतलब
being
वो जो पास टाइम जो
chastised. Yeah, yeah.
इंटीमेट पास टाइम और इंटीमेट है हाँ we can say because anyway we know that कि चैतन्य महाप्रभु says that वो क्या है वो रम्या काचित उपासना ब्रजे वधू वर्गेन समथिंग लाइक दैट कि जो रम गोपियों की जो भक्ति है दैट इज टॉप मोस्ट so they are the topmost devotees so yeah but we also hear that in spiritual also there are men also like we have Krishna and Arjuna so so yeah the dealing with women with women is more intimate than male body but ultimately yeah Krishna is a Purush and everyone others is actually female income in relation to him. So I think this is what you wanted to say, right, bro?
Yeah, the main point about this pastime is about how Yashoda is actually chastising. This is like inconceivable in one way, but Kunti is saying, Queen Kunti, it's very true. I mean, how could somebody actually chastise Krishna?
Yeah.
It is bewildering, definitely. I mean, I cannot even imagine it. Of course, it's happening, but it's just like uh, only a pure devotee who can actually have that rasa and taste can actually do this.
Okay. त्यक्त्वा यस्तिं सुतं भीतं विज्ञाया विज्ञा विज्ञा भक्त वत्सला येष किल तं बुद्धुं दाम्नाताद् वीर्यकोविद त्यक्त्वा throwing away yastim the stick in her hand sutam her son bhitam considering her son's great fear vignaya understanding arbhaka arbhaka vatsala the most affectionate mother of Krishna yesha desired killer indeed tam Krishna badhum to find damna with a rope atat virya kovida without knowledge of the supremely powerful personality of Godhead because of intense love for Krishna. Translation Mother Yashoda was always overwhelmed by intense love for Krishna, not knowing who Krishna was or how powerful he was. Because of maternal affection for Krishna, she never even cared to know who he was. Therefore, when she saw that her son had become excessively afraid, she threw the stick away and desired to bind him so that he would not commit any further naughty activity. So कृष्णा सॉरी यशोदा मैया का यहाँ पे आ रहा है कि उनका लव इतना इंटेंस था कि that she was not even interested in knowing who Krishna is, how powerful he is. She doesn't even care to know who he is. So Mother Yashoda wanted to bind Krishna not in order to chastise him, but because she thought that the child was so restless that he might leave the house in fear. Oh, तो यहाँ पे क्योंकि ऑलरेडी कृष्णा में यहाँ पे आ रहा है कि ऑलरेडी कृष्णा जो है उन्होंने एडमिट कर लिया कि उन्होंने ऑफेंड किया है एंड देन ही वाज इन फियर ही वाज क्राइंग सो यशोदा मैया का जो है दिल भर आया फिर से एंड देन अभी उन्होंने इसके लिए बांधा है कि यहाँ पे ये आ रहा है कि ये नहीं कि उनको पनिशमेंट हम लोग कहते हैं तो लेकिन यहाँ पे ये चीज यहाँ पे प्रभुपाद लिख रहे हैं कि शी डिड नॉट wanted to bind Krishna in order to chastise him, but because she thought that the child was so restless that he might leave the house in fear, वो डर के भागने जाए तो इसके लिए उनको बांध दिया. That would be another disturbance. Therefore, because of full affection, to stop Krishna from leaving the house, she wanted to bind him with rope. Hmm. Mother Yashoda wanted to impress upon Krishna that since he was afraid merely to see her stick, he should not perform such disturbing activities as breaking the container of yogurt and butter and distributing its contents to the monkey. Mother Yashoda did not care to understand who Krishna was and how his power spreads everywhere. This is an example of pure love for Krishna. So we know that about Maya. किस तरह से because of Maya's influence हम जो है मटेरियल वर्ल्ड को ऑल इन ऑल मानते हैं उसमें मतलब बेसिकली सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन में रमे हुए रहते हैं दे बिकॉज वी हैव फॉरगॉटन कृष्णा इसके लिए हम इधर एंजॉयमेंट ढूंढते हैं एंड उस चीज को हम एंजॉयमेंट कर पाए उस चीज को फैसिलिटेट करने के लिए ही ये सब है ये माया वगैरह की and we wanted to forget Krishna so that's why this facility is given to us कि okay all this ये प्रोविजन दिया हुआ है ये फैसिलिटी दिया हुआ है और ऑन द अदर हैंड यहाँ पे आ रहा है कि जो प्योर डिवोटीज हैं वो कृष्ण के साथ जो लीला जो उनके साथ रिलेशन जो है वो रिलेशनशिप वो एक्सचेंज हो पाए वो प्रेम जो लव जो है उसका एक्सचेंज हो पाए प्रेम का आदान प्रदान हो इसके लिए वो भी यहाँ पे क्या बोलते हैं वो कृष्ण को मतलब उनको समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कि ये कृष्ण है मतलब वो इतना इंटीमेट इतना प्योर है उनका लव तो वहाँ वो भी भूले हुए हैं वो भी योग माया के influence से वो भी भूले हुए कि कृष्ण है भगवान है वो बट उनका जो भूलना है दैट इज बिकॉज ऑफ देयर प्योरिटी ऑफ लव फॉर कृष्ण बट कंडीशन सोल्स जो भूले हुए हैं कृष्ण को दैट इज बिकॉज ऑफ वी डोंट वांट टू हैव कृष्ण आई मीन वी वांट लव कृष्ण दोनों में डिफरेंस है दोनों ही एक्चुअली जीवात्मा जो बद्ध जीवात्मा है बद्ध आत्मा है वो भी क्या बोलते हैं कृष्ण को भूले हुए हैं नहीं समझ रहे कृष्ण को जानना नहीं चाह रहे केयर नहीं कर रहे और यहाँ पे प्योर डिवोटी है यहाँ पे यशोदा मैया कहा है शी ऑल्सो डिड नॉट केयर टू अंडरस्टैंड हु कृष्ण है बट देयर इज बहुत बड़ा डिफरेंस है सो व्हेन अ डिवोटी है जब प्योर लव होता है तो कृष्ण प्रोवाइड्स दैट फैसिलिटी जिससे कि वो उनके साथ जो एक्सचेंज है वो और भी स्वीट हो इस कारण से यहाँ पे the pure devotees don't even care कि who are you. इसके लिए हम देखते हैं कृष्णा के साथ जो लीला है वृंदावन में किस तरह की they did not treat Krishna like God. They were treating him like as their own child, as their lover, as their whatever, as their friend. So yeah, this is the difference. So यहाँ पे आ रहा है, Mother Yashoda wanted to impress upon Krishna that since he was afraid merely to see her stick, he should not perform such disturbing activities as breaking the content of yogurt and butter and distributing its contents to the moon. Hmm.
Prabhu, I have a question.
Yes.
Um, there are two kinds of beings, right, in the material world. Like one is infallible and one is fallible. Sorry, in the spiritual world, there is only infallible. In the material world, there are fallible. That is
Mm-hmm.
like even Brahma down to the end, all are fallible beings. They are not
Mm-hmm.
infallible. So then how to understand that even there are infallible or devotees here on this material world also, in the sense how to know this point whether they are fallible or infallible in the material world.
You mean to say कि वो जो नित्य सिद्ध और नित्य बद्ध वाले हैं वो मतलब यहाँ पे जो डिवोटीज है प्योर डिवोटीज उनको उनके बारे में कैसे समझ में आएगा
Yeah,
कि
how to
वो
understand that they are also infallible in the sense that in material world, if everybody is fallible, then how that
ना तो
understanding?
क्यों नहीं पॉसिबल है क्योंकि हम देखते हैं इवन भगवान आ रहे हैं मटीरियल वर्ल्ड में तो इसका मतलब ये थोड़ी हुआ कि भगवान ही फॉलेबल हो गए ही डिड नॉट फॉल डाउन हियर ही कम्स डाउन हियर और सिमिलरली उनके डेवोटीज जो है उनको वो भेजते हैं देन दे कम एंड दे डू देयर सर्विस तो दैट इज पॉसिबल जैसे कृष्णा कृष्णा भी तो आ रहे हैं ना इधर उनको थोड़ी हम वो कंसिडर कर रहे हैं कि वो भी हमारी तरह है तो वैसे ही उनके जो नित्य सिद्ध भक्त हैं डेवोटीज हैं जो दे डू नॉट एक्सरसाइज देयर इंडिपेंडेंस दे डोंट वांट टू वो मतलब बेसिकली दे आर फिक्स्ड इन देयर सर्विस टू कृष्ण हाउ टू अंडरस्टैंड कि कैसे नहीं फॉल करेंगे ये
My question was not like how to understand in that sense. My question was that if there is birth and death here in this material
हम्म,
world, so
हम्म,
so the devotees, even some, what I understand is that the ones who are conditioned, even they can become unconditioned in this material world. That's the way.
हाँ हाँ अभी
Yeah.
जैसे अभी अभी आप देख लो ना अभी रिसेंटली मैं सुन रहा था भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर के बारे में जो हमारे आचार्य हैं प्रभुपाद के गुरु के जो प्रभुपाद के गुरु के पिता तो वो इनिशियल स्टेज में ही उन्होंने वो मटेरियल एजुकेशन लिया था उन्होंने and वो उनके मतलब बेसिकली आप उनकी लाइफ स्टोरी देखोगे तो ही वाज लाइक बाद वो डिवोटी बनते हैं बाद में और जो भी मटेरियलिस्टिक एजुकेशन वगैरह ले रहे हैं एनी काइंड ऑफ इट सीम्स लाइक ही इज कन्वर्टिंग टू कृष्णा कॉन्शियस लेटर तो तो वो मैं सुन रहा था तो उसमें बता रहे थे कि ऑल्दो दे आर क्या बोलते हैं मंजरीज इट इज सेड टू बी दैट दे आर मंजरीज दे आर directly है they are coming from spiritual world but still they are doing this kind of pastime here कि वो ऐसा दिख रहा है कि अरे वो तो नॉर्मल मटेरियल कंडीशन सोल की तरह दिख रहा है बट देन this by this pastime he is showing कि किस तरह से जो जीवात्मा है कंडीशन सोल है कोई भी एक्चुअली कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस एक्सेप्ट कर सकता है एंड दे कैन टॉक विद देम तो इट्स नॉट दैट क्योंकि हम ये क्वेश्चन आ सकता है ना कि अरे ये तो जो नित्य सिद्ध है परफेक्ट बीइंग्स है वो तो भक्ति कर रहे हैं तो इसमें तो कोई आश्चर्य नहीं सरप्राइजिंग नहीं है प्रॉब्लम तो जो कंडीशन सोल है उनके लिए So by their life, actually, they are showing कि actually anybody can take to this Krishna consciousness. इस तरह से मैं सुन रहा था इवन प्रभुपाद का भी देख लो प्रभुपाद भी इंडियन इंडिपेंडेंस के लिए वो स्ट्रगल वो जो चल रहा था उस पे वो काफी एक्टिव थे एंड आई मीन ही वाज नॉट वेरी although he was devotee from the beginning of his childhood but still he was not full fledged क्या बोलते हैं वो उन्होंने चैतन्य महाप्रभु के मिशन में ऐसा वो कुछ ऐसा कर नहीं रहे थे in his early days. So sometimes it may look like कि जो liberated soul है उनके एक्टिविटीज से उनके कि वो कंडीशन है, वो भी तो उनके ऊपर भी मटेरियल वर्ल्ड का कंडीशनिंग काम कर रहा है। बट देन दैट इज जस्ट, क्या बोलते हैं, you can say, बस ऐसे ही है मतलब। जस्ट बिकॉज कृष्णा, सिंस कृष्णा ऑल्सो कम, भगवान भी जब आते हैं तो वो भी बहुत सारी चीजें उस तरह से करते हैं जैसे वो मटेरियल वर्ल्ड का लॉज फॉलो कर रहे हैं, इस टाइप से मनुष्य की तरह बिहेव करते हैं। तो सिमिलरली डेवोटीज भी आ रहे हैं तो वो भी मटेरियल लॉज, जो कंडीशनिंग थोड़ा बहुत ऐसा दिख सकता है। दैट्स व्हाई वी शुड नॉट जज devotees by their activities, क्योंकि ऐसा हो सकता है ना। अभी फॉर एग्जांपल हमारे गुरु है, उनको भी मतलब जो वैष्णव है, शुद्ध मान लो कोई शुद्ध भक्त है, उनको हम देखेंगे अरे ये भी तो हाड़ मांस के बने हुए शरीर है इनका, ये भी तो, इनको भी ठंड लगती है, इनको भी गर्मी लगता है, सब कुछ। या फिर मान लो प्रभुपाद गुस्सा कर रहे हैं तो हम बोलेंगे अरे इनको भी गुस्सा आता है, तो वी कैन इक्वेट दैट। और जनरली यही प्रॉब्लम होता है, जो मंडेन व्यू से अगर हम देखने लग, लोग देखने लगते हैं, वो उस हिसाब से जज करते हैं। एंड दैट्स व्हाई दे आर नॉट एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड। So yeah, Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhu. Last time, I think we also, when Vaishnava etiquette, that points were mentioned about how devotees, uh, there are the categories and then there are that
Yeah,
sahajas.
he,
So we have to understand everything, the whole aspect of the
yeah.
devotee.
Nectar of instruction में clearly आया है, 6th या 7th verse में, I don't remember that exactly, कि एक्सटर्नली हमको नहीं देखना चाहिए डेवोटीज को, कि खासकर जो काफी डेवोटीज हैं, एक्सटर्नली हमको नहीं देखना चाहिए कि उनका बॉडी डिफॉर्म्ड है तो फिर कुछ तो कुछ कर्म उनके खराब होंगे तभी ऐसा है। मतलब एक्सटर्नली जज नहीं करना चाहिए। We don't know.
Mm.
There's so many things we
Mm.
don't. So yeah, यहाँ पे आ रहा है कि क्या था। हाँ, तो यहाँ पे यशोदा मैया जो है उनको कृष्णा को, कि वो फर्दर ऑफेंस न करे, फर्दर डिस्टरबेंस न करे, इसके लिए उन्होंने उनको बांध दिया, क्योंकि वो ऑलरेडी उन्होंने सरेंडर कर दिया है यशोदा मैया को। ओके, एक और वर्स देख लेते हैं। न चांतर न बहिर्यस्य, न पूर्वम न पीछा परम, पूर्वा परम बहिश्चान्तर, जगतो य जगच्चयः, तम मत्वात्मजं व्यक्तं भर्तया लिंगम उभौक्षजम्, ओपिको लूफले दामना अबन्ध प्राकृतं यथ, na not also antah inferior, na nor bahi exterior yasya whose, na neither purvam beginning, na nor api indeed, cha also aparam and purva aparam, the beginning and the end, bahi cha antah, the external and internal, jagatah, the whole cosmic manifestation, yah, who is jagatach yah, and who is everything in creation in total, tam him matva, considering Atmajam, her own son, Avyaktam, the unmanifested. Mathyalingam, appearing as a human being, Dhokshasam, beyond sense perception, Gopika, Mother Yashoda, Ulukale, to the grinding mortar, Damana, by a rope, Babandha, bound, Prakritam Yatha, as done to form a human child. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has no beginning and no end, no exterior and no interior, no front and no rear. In other words, He is all pervading. Because He is not under the influence of the element of time, for Him there is no difference between past, present, and future. He exists in His own transcendental form at all times, being absolute, beyond relativity. He is free from distinctions between cause and effect. Although He is the cause and effect of everything, that unmanifested person who is beyond the perception of the senses had now appeared as a human child, and Mother Yashoda, considering him her own ordinary child, bound him to the wooden mortar with a rope. See the description here. He has, and that's what Supreme Personality of Godhead is. He has no beginning, no end, no exterior, no interior. How can you understand him? No friend, no rear. He's all pervading. And he's not under the influence of time. This time itself is so bewildering. What is this time at? For him, there is no difference. ये जो past, present and future चल रहा है, what is it? This is again क्या बोलते हैं ये material world में ही है. सोचो किस तरह का ये एक टाइम है. मतलब this is so amazing this time. बट ये यहाँ पे बोल रहे हैं कि स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड में Krishna doesn't come under the influence of past, present, and future. He exists in his own transcendental form at all times. So he's forever a youth playing on his flute. He's absolute, beyond relativity. So everything in this material world is relative. Somebody is fat, somebody is thin, somebody is tall, somebody is short, somebody is fair, somebody is black. Everything is actually relative. But that's why Prabhupada uses this term, absolute truth. So Krishna is beyond relativity. You cannot even how can understand this? He is free from distinction between cause and effect. हमने वो जो अभिनव प्रभु ने जो सेशन लिया था, he had mentioned, he was using this word cause and effect all these things. So he is beyond this cause and effect. He is the cause and effect of it. That unmanifested person who is beyond the perception of the senses had now appeared as a human child. So that person who is, जिसका डिस्क्रिप्शन हमने ऊपर देख लिया किस तरह के हैं, and now he has appeared as a human child for Mother Yashoda. And Mother Yashoda is considering him as her own ordinary child. तो जो सोचो जो इस ऐसे हैं भगवान हमारे, इनका डिस्क्रिप्शन हमने देख लिया, and he इनका पोजीशन मदर यशोदा के सामने क्या है, and she is binding him with the wooden mortar with her. So in Bhagavad Gita 10, chapter 10, 12th verse, Krishna is described as the supreme Brahman, Param Brahma, Param Dhama. The word Brahma means the greatest. Krishna is greater than the greatest, being unlimited and all-pervading. How can it be possible for the all-pervading to be measured or bound? Interesting question. Right? How can it be possible for the all-pervading to be measured or bound? Then again, Krishna is the time factor. Therefore, he is all-pervading not only in space, but also in time. So he is not all-pervading in space, but also in time. We have measurements of time, but although we are limited by past, present, future, for Krishna, these does not exist. These do not exist. Every individual person can be measured, but Krishna has already shown that although he also is an individual, the entire cosmic manifestation is within his mouth. All these points considered, Krishna cannot be measured. How then did Yashoda want to measure him and bind him? मतलब कृष्ण को मेजर ही नहीं कर सकते हैं तो उनके लिए फिर अब रस्सी कितना लाओगे आप और कैसे बांधोगे उनको? How is it possible that Yashoda Maya is able to measure him and bind him? We must conclude that this took place simply on the platform of pure transcendental. This was the only cause. Advaitam achyutam anadim ananta rupam आद्यं पुराण पुरुषम नव यौवनम च वेदेषु दुर्लभम अदुर्लभम आत्मभक्तौ गोविंदम आदि पुरुषम तम अहम भजामि. Everything is one because Krishna is the supreme cause of everything. Everything is one. Everything is one because Krishna is the supreme. So we also say actually everything is one. But but the understanding is different. Because Krishna is the supreme cause of everything. Krishna cannot be measured or calculated by Vedic knowledge. Vedeshu durlabham. Vedic knowledge say you cannot understand. He is available to only to devotees. Adurlabham atma bhaktau. Adurlabham atma bhaktau. Devotees can handle him because they act on the basis of loving service. Bhaktiya mam vijanati yavan yaschasmi tatvata. That's Mother Yashoda. Yashoda wanted to join him. So it's interesting, right? It's sweet, interesting, so much of knowledge. Hare Krishna. Any question, comments? Hare Krishna. Am I audible?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, कोई question, comments तो नहीं है? Okay, so we'll end here.